Welcome to George Coll Fine Art. Here, the viewer is encouraged to get outside and paint from life. George's job is to provide the tools to solve the many technical challenges faced in rendering landscape paintings. View the library of landscape paintings offered and become a subscriber. You can also purchase tutorial videos, plus original tutorial and studio paintings. Thank you, and if you like what you see, click the subscribe button and join in on the fun.
Hello and welcome to part 2 of Monticello. I'm George Coll. So I introduced the medium today and how that is mixed, how we mix that together. Boy, I've had some struggles with making this mountain look forward and the other one look back, so I'm still struggling with that. And so I'm going to get that worked out. And but you see me struggle through these things step by step, and I hope you can appreciate all the successes and struggles that I have with painting. So don't be intimidated by a blank canvas. Get critiques, paint with your friends, and get outside and paint. All right, let's start getting into part 2. All right. Hello, and welcome to part 2 of Monticello. This is Road to Monticello, or I'm just going to call it Monticello. I forgot to mention in part 1 what the new medium is, and it's a mixture of Gamsol, stand oil, and Damar varnish. So I do 1 part stand oil, 1 part Damar varnish, and 4 parts Gamsol. So that's my medium. I also have Gamsol to clean my brush. So what I'm doing is introducing a new medium, and that's the one we're just talking about. So I have the medium in one dish, and then I have my Gamsol in another. So I do more brush cleaning in the Gamsol, and then after my brush is clean, I pick up the medium and mix it into my paint and then apply it to the canvas. All right now, so I'm going to take a fresh look at my painting, and before I got in here and before I started, or before taping, I came in and I just didn't like the design here. I had a bigger shadow, so I shrunk that, and I thought this mountain was too big, still taking up too much space, so I'm moving that back. So what I want to do now is try to make this mountain feel like it's forward, and this mountain is farther back. So I'm going to work on that process here. So what I did off camera was to fill in these spaces here, that working around all those bushes that we had. And I just didn't like my design too much, so I scraped it off, and I'm going to have less bushes here, more bushes here. So I scraped that. When I came in with my new shadow color, it was a little too light, so I have to work on that to make it darker. You know, typical stuff that you got to do. So my limited palette is Cerulean, Ultra Blue, Alizarin, Cad Red Light, Cad Yellow Light, and Transparent Oxide Red, or Burnt Sienna. So those would be the guys there. And of course, Titanium White in the lower right. This Titanium White was left over. It's got some contamination in it. So contaminated white is still quite useful. So I just put that off to the side. All right, so the first thing I do is take a sip of coffee and then figure out what brush I'm going to use and what mixture I'm going to use. So let's go ahead and start with this guy right here and work on that redesign and what color it's going to be and value. So let's first get some of that dirty white I have. And I notice there's a lot of white on the top of it. I'm going to add a little pink to it. One of this stuff that's left over from yesterday, or part one. And I'm going to also make a gray color. So I'm going to make a red and a green. I have some green left over from the bushes, but not enough. So let's make some more ultra blue, bird sienna, cad yellow light, cad yellow light, and we have a nice dark green here. I'll probably be using him in various capacities throughout the session. So let's put him here, because we'll need him. All right, with the red and green, we can make a gray. And I'll throw some more green in, more green. And now I'm going to throw in some slop white. And you start to see the gray coming out. Nice gray. As you see, I spent a lot of time mixing paint because I want it thorough. I want it completely mixed. And I encourage you to do that too. All right, so I'm going to make more of a gray color up in here. So I'm going to mix some white with a little bit of gray and a little bit of pink. A little bit of gray and a little bit of pink. And I need to make it light. Let me just take some of this stuff and take it. So you say, you just stole another pile that you made. Well, it looks like a lighter value. It has some pink in it. And I'm making a pink gray, so it might work. I'm going to get a number 4, round. I'm going to dip a little bit of the tip of my paintbrush into the medium. And let's see what this does. Picking up anything that might still be tacky. You see, I picked up and thinned it. And let's do this. And you can see this is different than the background color. And now what I'm going to do is get a little bit of pink. Use Cad Red Light, see what that does. Cad Red Light. Medium. Nope, we need to have more. Cad Red Light. Cad Red Light. Just think I'm going to have to go to the alizarin pile. It's a little bit more blue in it or something. And let me get some gray in it too. Try not to mix with your brush like I do. It's not a good thing. Do as I say, not what I do. I think that came out from religious circles, from preachers. Oh, darn it. Had some hidden red there. Okay, let's do back to the drawing board. Let's get some gray in there. Gray. Let's lighten that up. Let's lighten that up. And let's make some orange. So here's some yellow. Damn, I picked up some of that green. Let's get some cad red light. Let's get some white in there. White. Some nice oranges coming out of that. So you're asking, are you going to do anything besides mix colors? Yes. Okay. So we're going a little bit, we make these a little longer now, these bigger paintings, so I'm going 45 minutes in these guys. Okay, so I'm going to go into this alizarin type color, which I really am starting to think there's some good stuff here. Oh, it's pretty. I'm going to add a little orange, see what that does. Little orange. Well, it sure stands out. I like that. That's what I'm looking for. Bang! Okay. Now we need some lighter color up here, and I stole that thing I made, so I have to come back and make some lighter color. I have some contamination in that white I just dipped into, so I'm going to be just using that. Cleaning my brush. And I'm going to go into this lighter color up in here. Too light. Out of here. Too light. Too light. Well, let me see if I can match it over here. I think I can. I still think it's too light. I'm going to smash it in. And I'm going to go back into my red that I mixed down below, mix some gray into it, and take some of that down. Now there's some good old gray, green stuff in the base of this fella, and I'm going to see if I can use some of that. And I'm just looking at what we have on the reference. I'm going to go back to the lighter color and just really hit that front part. Because it really does have some of that coming down the hill here. Getting back. Okay. Okay, let's keep working in here. And I see some juniper type stuff in here. There's some sort of a landing up in here of junipers. So I'm mixing some green and gray. And I'm going to see what I can do about getting some junipers in here. And then there's also some pockets of shadow and pockets of light. So I am going to make some stronger red and a little bit of blue in here. Red, that was alizarin red. Throw a little green in it to gray it down. And work on some of that. And a little bit of green up on top. I don't know how it's looking on camera, but it's looking okay here. Now I got a little bit of orange out here, and I'm going to be mixing with that a little bit. And here I'm going to be putting some of that into this lower section to give it a little bit of life, light and life here. And I'm going to use some of that up into one of the sections here. Still, I want to make sure I'm not matching what's behind it. I'm going to go back to the shadow color and put that in some more places. I know you're saying you were getting into detail kind of early, but I just want to try to get some good basic stuff in here and make sure this is looking different than what's behind it. All right, so I'm going to dull down this light. It's too light, I put right there. And I'm going to dull that down with some of my lighter color here. Give me a little bit of medium in there and going back to light right up in here. This is sticking up too much. I better knock that down. Now I'm going to go get a little bit more sunlight on this side. And I'll put some of this with medium with some strong strokes down in here. And if all that's a little too complicated with all this back and forth, let's simplify it. And take out anything that's a little too much. It brings up some of the color I have down below, and that's okay. All right, let's get out of that neighborhood and go into more definement of the junipers. So I have this nice green here, so we might as well mix it into the gray. and see if we can come up with a nice juniper color. See what that looks like. Nice. I'm going to add a little bit more blue to it because it's going to be farther back. And a little bit more white in this mixture because it's faded and farther back. So I've got some medium in it now. And this time I'm using a number 2. Man, I need a little bit more strength in there. What I did was just add a little bit more hard green to it. And I'm going to have some of that going up into the next layers up in here. Have some up in this layer too. I think I have some up in here too. Up in here. Maybe, maybe not. That's a little too hokey. Okay, sorry. Get back in the right place. We're going to put some bigger junipers up in here. And here. And here. I'm going to look, see if I've overdone it. I think I can live with that. That's good. Looking good. I think I'm going to eliminate that and that juniper pile. And I'm going to accent it with a light yellow. So we're going to go to cad yellow. Add a little gray to it. Light. Better check my time. Still got 23 minutes. Okay. A little bit of medium. And let's see what this looks like. Okay. Whew, pretty strong. But I want to have the eye to go back in there. And I think these darks will do that. But if I also add more light, I can say that is the money area. I may have been doing this a little too dabby. Get some really light pink in there, light pink. I don't know if that's making sense or not. Let me scrape it and start over again. Scrape it. It looks pretty good from 1 or 2 steps back, but let me just not get too happy-dappy yet. Okay. Oh, this is fun. This is looking good. But when I got back, my first thought was, foreground, this guy's just not right yet. Sorry to take you back into this neighborhood, but we got to do it. So sometimes when I have to get down and dirty and change something, I get my number 4 flat instead of a round and get busy with it. So I'm going to go with a little bit darker stuff. I'll go into the orange and pink, and I'm going to go here and see what that does. I keep saying it's got to be different than the back, but I need strength. I need a little bit of strength. Now, let's run some lights through it. More lights, more medium. Let me see what that does. I can live with that. All right, let's get some more orange and it right in here. And see what we can do. I'm going to go with a stronger alizarin on the bottom. Get some more medium in there. All right. Smash this in. And a little scraping here. See if it still comes through. And it does. I'm going to keep my values, my paint thin for now. Oop. Okay. One thing I noticed is right here, I didn't finish it. In part one, I didn't have a value in it. So I am going to do that now. So I'll probably go back to a number 2 round. I think the brand name of this number 2 is a Princeton. So I still have some of this yellowy stuff over here. This yellowy green. Get some more green in that. Green. And let's go into here. I think I need a little bit more something in there. Let me get some more greeny, some sort of a shrub I have in here. And then there's a tree in front of it, but I'm going to get some purple and shadow it right here with a little bit more blue in that mixture. And I sure like these different blues I have on hand here. Trying to get more light into this juniper. And I think I'm getting a little closer to his buddies back in here. Get a little bit more dark in there. More blue. Blue. And not enough. Here we go. Let me work around that juniper bush now with the lighter color for the ground. And this is a little lighter, so I'm going to push that down in the little gully I have. And up in here, I like that light. I've been neglecting my coffee. Whew. Oh my goodness. I've been spending so much time trying to make these two guys look different, and they look the same. And I think the thing that's saving my behind right now is I have this nice avenue of junipers going up into that, that area of interest back there. I mean, from the beginning of this painting, I thought that mountain in the left was too massive, and I wanted to move him back, and I successfully doing that so far, and it's still holding together. Maybe you can hear Miss Cat wanting attention. I'm working. She's yelling there like, take care of me and do something. This little bit of light here kind of says, hey, we're back here. This lighter stuff that I still have a little of, I'm going to be playing with it just a little bit. And you say, well, why don't you have some of that in your bushes? Okay, I'll get to that. What I'm doing now is I have these remaining colors, and I want to use them before the end of the taping here today. Some of this is juniper and some of it's shadow. With these different juniper configurations, I have to kind of I can't make them all the same. I have to kind of go dot, 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 dash, and the next layer I'll do dot, dash, and to try to make them look more like nature. Nature's got a random unifying thing to it, but it's also has a uniformity to it, but not like a city street or something like that. I don't know if I'm making sense, but that's what I'm trying to think about in here. This shape isn't quite right over here with the blue, so I'm going to knock out some of it and go in with, I think, what do we got here? Some of this stuff. I do like that light I put in right up in here, and I'm going to make a few strong strokes of that before I finish up here today. Because I want the eye of my viewer to go back into there. All right, what do I have here? I think I have some nice juniper color here I can do something with. Let me see if I can whip some up with my remaining time to work on these bushes here that I've decimated the other day. Okay. I think I gotta go a little lighter. See what that does. And let me make some lighter surrounding color with yellow, pink, yellow. It's got a little bit of red in it. This is to surround the junipers, or these bushes, these lower bushes. I like that, but I need some orange in it. Orange, orange. All right, to the bushes. Let's see what this does. Ooh, oofka. And let me work some of that orange around, see what it does. Might be too light, let me knock it down. I'm adding a little bit of blue to it. Add some blue, yellow, kind of green it up just a little bit. Yellow, blue, ultra. It looks too dark on my palette, but let me see what it looks like up in here. Yeah, too blue. Let's get some yellow in there. There we go. That's more like it. And I'll get some shadow color on these guys as we get a little farther in the painting. I guess what I do, and I've been doing with my beginners for the last 2.5, 3 years, is to make start to finish just about every step I'm doing. And I'm going to try to do that with this painting. The thing that's going to be difficult is just the size of it. And so I'm going to have to do some homework. So if you see some things that are balanced or unbalanced or something like that, please do that for your homework off camera. Okay, now I'm going to put more bushes on this side. I'm just grabbing for some greens and blues or whatever the hell I've got around here. Okay, get a little bit of blue in there. Blue. Too much. Darn it. A bit of yellow. Burnt sienna. That might be nice. You can see I'm putting them closer together on this side, because that's what we have seen from the reference. More medium. More blue, more blue, a little bit of burnt sienna, ooh, too much, A little bit more blue, yellow. It's a little darker, but that's okay. You know, for what, we're doing this for 45 minutes, things have really kind of come together in a good way. So, let me make some darker sides, adding ultra blue to the juniper color, because there's some really good darks on some of the junipers. I think I can only get away with that on the big boys in front. And then I'm going to go back with even lighter juniper and put it in the trees. Too much, calm it down. See if that holds from back here. So far, so good. Right. Woo, we've come a long way today. So what I'm going to do is give this thing a rest and look at it from a distance, finish my coffee, and thank you guys so much for coming by and doing part 2 with me, and going through this whole process of creativity of painting. So, oh my goodness, it's still looking, it's holding together. I'm still having problems with this guy here, and I might make these trees bigger too. You get back, you get an eye for what's going on here, what needs to be changed, but this is still my big amoeba in my problem area. But I need something to cut off these junipers. All right, so with that, we'll figure out what we can do in part 3 when we get there. And start filling in all these blanks you have and try to make this different than the background. All right, thanks so much for coming by. I'll see you in part 3.